What up, y'all? It's your boy, Not Coach Tomlin, here with my boy Cody Brody on Christmas Eve. Um, we here to talk about Steelers stuff, of course. But before we get into that, how we doing, man? It's Christmas Eve. I just finished all my Christmas shopping like a couple hours ago.
Feeling good. I still have to wrap presents, so that's one thing. I sent the wife out to go get the wrapping paper, so we ran out of it. So she's gonna go do that, and then after this, I'll probably finish wrapping the presents, and then be on my way doing family stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah,
I like that we got some snow yesterday. It didn't stick, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful Christmas Eve for sure.
yeah. I went outside this morning. I'm like, it's kind of warm out here. Like, this is kind
Yeah,
of, you
yeah.
know, I know there was snow on the ground yesterday. Then it was not. By the time the evening came, I was like, well, I guess they're not going to have snow on the ground for Christmas after all. So,
They said that we might get snow again tonight, so I don't know how accurate that is. So it'd be
yeah,
pretty
I'm
cool to
pretty
have to be snowing on Christmas. I'll always be okay with that.
right. I remember one year it was like 60 degrees out on Christmas. We was outside throwing the football around.
No,
And I was like, this isn't good, but we'll take
yeah.
it. Like, so Christmas time, man. I had a question, random question here. What was the best Christmas gift you ever received?
That's a good question. That is a good question. It's tough to not say the Nintendo 64 that my brothers and I received. I think that has to be number one. I can't even
Yep.
think of like a close number two. I remember we got like really nice hockey sticks one year. Any of us never played hockey, but we had like a rink in our backyard and stuff. So that was really cool. But the Nintendo 64, like when that came out, if younger people don't know, it was the real deal system to have.
I'm just
And
gonna
yeah,
say it. It's the best system to ever come out. I'm not
yeah,
arguing. I'm not arguing nobody about it. Because that's
yeah.
my answer too. When the N64 came out, it was a bittersweet Christmas because that's when I found out that you know the person that's supposed to deliver them don't really exist.
Oh, okay. See, I was not. I
I,
still was under the understanding that Santa, because
I
I think I
got
was
I
in
got
third
you
grade.
know, but that my mom didn't even wrap it. I found it. I found it in the closet the day before.
Oh,
Um, and I was like, huh. Wait a minute. I asked somebody else to get this for me, not my mom.
yeah.
And so then I went upstairs and went to bed, and then I got up at like 3 in the morning, woke my little sister up. We went downstairs. I went, and then I got down there. I was like, she didn't even wrap it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Brought it upstairs. Madden 64,
Yep.
Wave Race,
Yep.
uh, GoldenEye
I was gonna say
007.
GoldenEye. Yep.
You
Yeah.
know,
Did you have Super Mario 2 as
I
well?
did. I
I should
didn't
say,
have Super Mario when I originally got it. I don't think I had Super Mario World.
or Mario
Um,
64. I should say. It's not. It wasn't
yeah.
Super Mario. Yeah, Mario
Yeah,
64.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
Super Mario World was Super Nintendo, but yeah, I didn't have Mario World. I think I had to get that afterwards, but I remember those three: the original, the Wave Racer, and the Madden 64. Of course, I threw the Madden on first, and then
Of course.
in 007, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to open doors and all that. I was just running. The first level, I would just run, shoot the guys,
Running.
and then I get to the door, don't even know how to open it. My cousin came by. We started playing. Then we figured it out. We were doing the verses. Didn't even know what we were doing. And I ran up to him and just shot him. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's what we got to do.
I was playing GoldenEye randomly, not too long ago. So I was like, let me see, and I stopped after 10 minutes because I'm like, this game is too frustrating. I don't even know how to aim in this. Like I don't have the
Yeah.
patience for this. So I had to try to run it back, and I was like, this is not a good idea. I'm just gonna get too pissed off.
Nah,
But
man.
yeah, no,
It was
Madden
classic.
64. My brothers and I definitely right immediately just started doing our 1v1 matchups and
Yep.
that. So
The
that
best
was
graphics ever. The best
yeah.
graphics ever seen.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. The classic play was the classic A was BBA. It was a play action. It was a play action pass that my brother ran probably 9 out of 10 times, and it was almost unstoppable for some reason.
yeah, man. So looking forward to this Christmas season. You know, the kids, we got them a lot of things, and just
That's
can't wait for
good.
that. You know, the joy is always it's always cool. Now, in terms of gifts, we have an opportunity here to receive a gift from the Green Bay Packers this weekend, man.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that Saturday matchup? Ravens at Green Bay. If the Ravens lose, the Steelers clinch before we even play another game. How
Yeah.
do you feel about that? I feel like we haven't been in this position in a while or ever.
I think feeling pretty solid because the Packers came off a really tough loss against the Bears. Both of those games that those teams played this year, you could put in like the top 10 games all year for regular season,
Yep.
obviously. So I think Packers are going to be pretty ticked off. They're going to come ready for Baltimore. And do we know the status of Lamar? Is he definitely playing in that game? Because obviously Huntley had taken over at the end of and during last game, so that also plays a
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah. Same thing with Jordan Love. Because he got
Yeah,
knocked out the game, and I
he's
think
going to play.
Malik Willis was hurt as well toward the end of that game. They're coming into the game pretty banged up as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I know Baltimore for some reason decided that they don't want to give Derrick Henry the ball.
Yeah.
I know he fumbled, but like when your quarterback is hurt, you probably want to give it to the other guy that's going to actually be able to make some plays. Um, and I mean, even with all of that, they still had an opportunity to beat the Patriots, and thankfully they didn't. But it should be a good game Saturday night. Obviously, all eyes will be glued on the screen to see how that goes down. Um, Now, what I was thinking about this: if the Packers do win Saturday, what do you think about our matchup against the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday? How do you think that approach would change, or do you think it would change at all?
I don't think it would change. No, just knowing Tomlin in general, he's gonna have the same approach every single game, whether it's 2 games in the season or whether it's the last 2 games of the season. So I think they're gonna do their best to win that game. We're down guys again, obviously.
Mhm.
I have not seen or read anything in particular about TJ Watt's timetable on return.
Yeah, there
Have
hasn't been an
you?
update. Tomlin didn't provide an update yesterday. He said he didn't have it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I mean, that injury is serious in general. Just even if it's just partially, it's collapsed lung. It's still very serious. So, um, and then obviously Herbig. Do you know the status on him?
He's trending towards being available.
Available? Yeah. Either
Yeah,
way, I mean, the Steelers really looked well last game defensively overall, and I was
yeah.
really surprised about that. Sawyer stepped up in some situations. So
Yep, I
I
had him
think.
written down, man. Captain Jack Sawyer, man, in his first start, I think he had a TFL or two. He had one
Yeah.
big one toward the goal line.
Yep. That was huge.
I thought they, for some reason, again, coaching, Campbell, Dan Campbell, they only ran the ball 10 times, 11 times the whole game.
Which
Um,
is wild.
and Jared Goff threw like 50 something passes, which we'll take it if that's the case, right? If we have to put it in
Yeah.
his hands, we'll take it. But the run defense, Derek Harmon being back was huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Derek Harmon, Jack Sawyer, Y.A. Black, all those
Wyatt
guys,
Black,
man.
he was solid. He was really solid as well.
All those guys are rookies, man. That is huge. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they all stepped up big and Smitty do what he do. And so yeah, I think I'm still feeling pretty confident even with TJ not out there. I would love to have Herbie out there.
Yeah,
Um, because it appears that Judkins I think broke his leg or something like that this
it
weekend.
was like his fibula. It was bad. It was a bad,
Yeah.
bad.
So they got
Dylan Sampson
Sampson.
and then the
They
other.
got Sampson and Sanders or Saunders or something
Yeah,
like Sanders. Those kids are pretty good too. Their O line is pretty solid, so their run offense is pretty good. So we're gonna need another stout front seven performance, just like we had this past Sunday. But yeah, I was wondering, man, because like we haven't really just the last time we clinched the division before the last game of the season was when we went 11-0 that year. Remember that year we went 11-0, and then it was like, yo, if we win like one more game, we could just clinch the division right now. And then it took us
yeah,
forever to actually win that game. I think it was like
exactly.
week 15 or something like that, where we finally ended up clinching. So that's 5 years ago. So this is unique for the Steelers to be able to possibly go into the last game of the season with the division in hand. In that game, I'm assuming we probably would sit a bunch of guys, or at least play like a half, and then try to sit
Yeah,
some guys. And so it's going to be real interesting, man. That Packers game, I got a bad feeling about them actually being able to handle business. You
Yeah,
know,
I can
I,
understand that.
I always look at it from a. There's a lot of storylines going on this weekend, man, in terms of how they want, the Week 18 matchup to be, that Steelers Ravens for the division kind of thing. I'm gonna hope that we don't let Shador Sanders tear us apart. I thought the secondary played really well. Joey been locking everything up. Um,
Yeah, without penalties too. So
Asante looked pretty good. He got beat on a rub route when Khalif Raymond they came across on a
yeah,
double crosser. But like it's
toasted.
hard to trail on that. He got rubbed and he went over instead of under, and
Hmm.
then or no, he went under instead of over, and then he just got cooked around the corner on that one. It's only so much you could really do with that man coverage kind of deal. But I thought overall those guys did really well against that high power offense, man.
They did
Um,
awesome. Yeah,
and so, like, going against Cleveland, I think if they bring that same energy defensively, offensively, played bully ball. The O line is looking fantastic.
yeah.
Aaron making good reads. These guys just got to catch the ball, get upfield, and
Oh, the young fella on our offensive line, though.
yeah,
Dylan Cook.
Dylan Cook, man, Dylan Cook. We
Yeah,
the line is the line all across is pretty young, man, very young. So
yeah,
this is good. This is a great time for them to start gelling.
yeah,
Aaron seems more confident with this line.
yeah. I agree.
Than he has looked earlier in the year where he was kind of like looking around
Hmm.
and doing all that shit. So um, I think I'm still not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. They try to get me excited by beating Detroit. I said if they beat Detroit, I was going to start to get excited. I'm feeling it a little bit, but I'm still not going to get my hopes up yet.
Well, yeah, it's also the way that we end up winning that game, where it was like, wow, we won. I can't believe we won that game, and it was back to back
Yeah,
offensive pass interferences. So, like, again, there's different ways to win where it gives fan bases more confidence. I know, like, we may sound like haters or whatever it may be, or like we're not happy
yeah,
the team's winning, but like, I try to be as realistic as possible with
yep,
it's seeing a different perspective. So like I know that win is huge and beating the Lions was huge in general. It's
yep,
just it was like it shouldn't have come down to that. Like we
right.
shouldn't have to rely on offensive pass interference to get out of that game. That's all.
Yeah,
That's my only point from that.
no, for sure, man. Because and we scored 45-yard touchdowns. Which
Yeah,
is
unheard of for
splash
us.
plays, explosive plays, whatever we want to call them. This offense hasn't really done that this year, so I'll take it, right?
Yeah,
But we had to score from 45 yards out to score a touchdown. Like that's still
that's
kind of like
fine.
the
I'm okay with if we're gonna get
I'll
big
take
runs
it.
and big plays. I love that.
I'll take it. But
It's
then that
better than
means
struggling in the red zone.
the other drives didn't pan out, right? We had a
Yeah,
safety. We had a safety. That was the other 2 points, right? And then two field goals. Boz missed that one at the end.
yeah.
He's still my guy. I don't care, Boz. We still
Yeah,
love
that
you.
is what it is.
But
Like
that is a chip shot. That's a damn chip shot, Boz.
Mhm.
You gotta knock that in, and then we could be comfortable. Even if they score OT at the, stop the 2 point conversion, OT at
Yeah,
worst. You know what I mean? But regardless, the defense stepped up, man, and made plays, especially on that. Amon Rod pass interfered, and then when he caught it, Joey came across and made the tackle, right? So he still didn't get in. So like, if
yeah,
in the event that they didn't throw that flag, if Joey doesn't come by and make that tackle, he gets in the end zone, and who knows what they're calling. And now we lost that one, right?
yeah,
I had it as a loss. We both had it as a loss, but to lose like that would have been absolutely terrible.
yeah, for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
and
But
so
yeah, to
yeah,
piggyback off what you're saying though is for the Browns game, um, Tomlin's record against rookie quarterbacks is exceptional. So
yeah,
that's something to look forward to. And I know that Shador is no pushover. He's had some really great moments for Cleveland in the short time that he's played. So
yep,
definitely not going to brush him off like hey, it's another rookie quarterback because he's better than Dylan Gabriel. I'll tell you that much.
yeah, and
Uh,
he's using his legs a lot too. So
yeah,
that's the other part. That guys are, when you're locking up, you got to be able to still come up in and he can move. He can
yeah.
move.
No,
You know.
absolutely. So I think that just limit them passing as much as possible, limit him catching fire, so to speak, and limiting on the other end, obviously Miles Garrett, which is nearly impossible to do for any offense. But
So
hey,
he was a part of what I was talking about when I mentioned storylines before, right? So he's a sack away from breaking the record, right? Now
yeah,
what would be a funnier storyline than the Steelers clinch the division Saturday night, right? Because the Packers win, and then the Steelers decide to roll Mason Rudolph out there on Sunday against the
Yeah,
Cleveland Browns in Cleveland, and
it's
then
automatic step.
Miles Garrett breaks the record by sacking Miles Garrett, by sacking Mason Rudolph.
That would be, well, that would be hysterical. I mean, and then after he does it, Mason Rudolph takes his helmet off and starts swinging at.
Yeah,
That would no,
he
obviously
takes
that wouldn't
Miles'
happen,
helmet
but
off and just starts swinging at everybody.
that would be pretty epic, honestly. I will say this: I am gonna sound like a hater right now, and I'm gonna sound very bitter because obviously when TJ broke the record, they didn't count that sack for whatever reason against the Ravens,
Yeah,
which is still
yep,
BS. But I think it was last game or the game before, they gave Myles Garrett a half a sack when he was crawling on the ground to try to get to the quarterback to touch him, and the quarterback was already down by his teammate. So
yeah,
what's going on with
yeah,
that?
yeah. It's whack. It's whack, man. It's
But
whack.
honestly, if he breaks it, I think it's. I love to see records broken because that's what they're meant to do.
Yeah,
So I'll tip my hat to him. He's had an incredible year. A year that maybe we don't see for a long time. Who knows? But let's just not have it happen to us. Hold him, tackle him, trip
do
him.
whatever, right?
Those
Yeah,
penalties, if it's on him, okay, fine. Like, but just don't allow him to break the record against us and break TJ's record and Michael Strahan technically. So
honestly, honestly at this point, man, I just want them to get the win. I just want to get the win.
yeah, yeah.
As long as there's not a game wrecking play, like last year we played him in the snow on that Thursday, and then he sacked Russ and got the fumble and all that, and I was just like,
Yeah.
dang, like changing the game, that kind of game wrecker stuff. The record is cool, but it's like y'all still only got what 3 wins under the year. Like y'all still stinky
Yeah.
Cleveland. So like, go ahead,
Yeah.
congratulations, man. Y'all still stinky Cleveland, bro. Like I don't care about all of that. Like get some wins. You know what I mean? So like kudos. I mean, he's one of one. Like there's
Yeah.
nobody will take that from him. For a while we were like, oh TJ, but like
Yeah.
Miles is one of one. We could just admit that and just call it what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No,
he's
definitely.
still a loser. He's still a loser. So whatever.
Yeah. At the end of the
And
day.
granted, TJ hasn't won much either. But like, yeah, whatever. Hopefully we could wrap it up this weekend. Since we're in wrapping things this time
Yeah.
of year, hopefully we could wrap up the North. And then week 18 could mean nothing for us.
Maybe
That would
bench
be
some players, whatever.
right.
Give
That would be
Baltimore
fantastic.
a
Let some
courtesy
guys get
win.
some rest. I had us projected at 10-7. So if that's what it comes down to, I don't think those guys could beat Mason Rudolph out there.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph and Roman and them guys could probably get crazy out there. I mean, speaking of which, though, right? Because we don't got DK. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The suspension was upheld. I'm guessing, given the information that they were privy to, they still felt that the suspension was necessary. Me personally, when I look at the situation as it happened, they showed the other angle where it looked like DK was walking over with the security guard toward the area, but the security person kept walking, and then like DK kind of just stopped with his back to them, like real close to them, and then he turned around and walked over to the guy, and then that's when all that stuff happened. So I wish he just would have stayed away from the whole area altogether. You know what I'm saying? Words can cause us to do dumb shit, but like when we think about how much we have to lose versus the other person, like the dude is on record. You could see him afterwards, like that was the goal. That was the goal. Like he was trying to get DK to react so that he thought he was going to get kicked out the game.
Well, yeah, and it's
And he didn't.
also whatever that fan said to him, and it could have been just vile and just racist or whatever he did say. If you're gonna go over to him and make a statement, don't just like grab a shirt and snuff it. Like, make it worth
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna shut a fan up, shut him up. Don't just
right.
like
Because
push him or do
this
whatever, and
guy
then you're
now is
suspended.
this guy is like, oh, he's like, I didn't say anything. Prove it. Prove it. I didn't say anything.
Oh,
And
approve it
and I'm
means yeah,
filing I'm filing a lawsuit because he ripped my shirt and he assaulted me and this, that, and the third. So like now it's turning into something even bigger. And so like, yeah, if that's what it's gonna come down to, if he said all this stuff you saying he said, like, let's get it. Like let's like
yeah,
not don't meet me in a car, like meet me down here on the field and like let's talk, like let's just get it done. But
yeah,
also like I wish that if understanding, unfortunately, professional football players and athletes and things of that nature, they're held to a different standard than we are as individuals. And it shouldn't, I guess, I won't say it shouldn't be like that. I guess I can understand as far as from the NFL, the machine, as far as they're
yeah,
concerned,
yeah,
right? The brand, the shield, whatever you want to call it. But like, there needs to be something more, because when I saw the security person, they didn't really seem to go over and address the guy at all. They kind of like DK was talking. I don't know if maybe they asked if he was okay and he's like, I'm good, and he stayed there or what. I don't know what the exchange was, but if this person was known to have been a real detractor and heckler when DK was in Seattle and they came out there
hmm
last year, then somebody should have took some precautionary measures as well to keep this person away from to be in front of the
that
stands too.
yeah,
Like there should be some kind of security measures there. I don't think that buffer is enough from those players and the fans. And that's where, knowing the human element of things, I think there needs to be something to be more proactive in that regard to
yeah. I
kind of
mean,
stop that kind of thing from happening.
I think that NBA and NFL, because it seems like this happens more with those two leagues than any
Yeah,
other
because the NBA,
sport.
they're much closer too. They're literally sitting
Yeah,
right next to
so
people on the
I
bench.
just think that maybe they just need to protect the players more at the end of the day, because if you're allowing these fans to continuously do this, and yeah, I know a lot of fans recently are getting lifetime ban, this and that, but look at the situation and kind of come down to DK's level and say, did he shouldn't have done that because the spotlight's on him, but he was disrespected to a point where maybe we ban that guy. We'll pay DK's whatever he wants if he wants to file a lawsuit, because it's not, a human being can only take so much. You know what I
Right.
mean? When you're
Yeah.
when you're when you're the color of your skin is being talked about in a certain way, your family is being attacked. There's certain things that you shouldn't do as a human, not just as a fan, as a human. You just don't cross that line. And just because you're at a sporting event doesn't excuse you, and it does not make it okay. And it should never
Right.
be that way.
No,
And
for sure.
players are now sticking up for themselves, saying, no, this is, like you said, you want a fair one, you want to talk like that. Okay, well, this is who I am now. And you're not going to
Right.
be protected, because I am going to cross this line because you crossed it
Yeah.
with me. So
You know what?
it
You know
is
what
a
they got
tough
to do?
situation,
They got
but
to, when you buy your ticket, it need to be a little asterisk waiver at the bottom. Like, look, if you say something crazy to one of the players and you get smacked up, that's on you.
yeah, I mean,
That's
for
that's
real
how we
though.
do it. Like we're not held liable for anything that happens to you if you say something wild to one of these players and they react. That's
Yeah.
the way they respond is going to be on you. We're not
Yeah.
liable for it.
And
That's
the
what
thing
that's the best way
is,
to do it. Then if that's how we're going to do it, because it's like, yo, if DK would have pulled this dude out the stands and started beating the shit out of him because of what DK said he told him, then like don't suspend him. Like dude
yeah.
asked for it. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's the case, so there should be something like that. All right. If we look at everything and you're deemed responsible for your ass whooping, you can't sue us. You can't sue nobody about this. This
hmm
is all on you.
No,
NBA especially, because NBA they be talking real foul right
they're
next to him and
they're
everything.
literally right there. I mean, the fans can
Yeah.
only go so far in the stadium, but no, I agree with you honestly in that sense, because it's not fair that, especially right after an altercation happens, the athlete is always, everyone's on Twitter or social media saying you got to be smarter than that. Like, oh, what a bozo for doing that, this and that.
Yep.
What about the fan? Like, why can't we just slow it down and just be like, okay, that reaction was a little aggressive for DK. We haven't seen that. Now,
Hmm.
what did the fans say? And let's try to get to the bottom of that before automatically just throwing these athletes under this microscope and saying that they're always in the wrong immediately. Because odds
Yep.
are they aren't. Odds are
Yeah.
they're being
Yeah.
disrespected. The odds are that racial slurs are being thrown at them, and that's just not
Right.
okay.
I wish he responded differently, but I like if everything he's saying is true, I understand why he did. I just the part for me, not even just as a biased Steelers fan, but especially as a black man, you know what I mean, in terms
Mhm.
of how the aggression and this, that, and the third, and all of
Yeah.
those stereotypes that are thrown on us. knowing that spotlight is on you, putting yourself in that position that he was
Yeah.
in, literally standing in that position, you make yourself vulnerable to that happening to
Stereotype.
you. You can't
Yeah.
control what's being said to you at all. But you going over there because he was far back. Then he came walking. Then he stopped for a second. Then he walked further
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? That part of it is where I just wish he would have thought for a second, yo, I got to be better than that for that moment, right? And
Hmm. Well, he
again, but
also struggled. He also
if this
struggled.
person had history, if this is somebody that he's known, then it's like it's not something that you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I don't know,
But
man. It's
again,
just a
he
shitty
also had a
situation.
bad game, so like that plays a factor too with athletes. Like you're already pissed off because you're not playing to your high potential.
But
So now you
this
got other
happened in like
people
the
saying
first
stuff.
quarter, though. I thought
Yeah.
it happened like in like the first quarter of the game.
Oh, I thought it was second, but I don't. I
Maybe it
could be
was a
wrong.
second.
Yeah. Either way, like he wasn't having a good game, and like obviously that plays a factor. But no excuse on that end. But yeah. I mean, we already know what it is with the fans and the athletes, and it's becoming more and more obviously because social media is so big, and I think a lot of fans do want to get attention and notoriety and maybe even lawsuits, honestly,
Yeah,
because and that's
this
where I
guy
think that
literally was in the stands like that was the goal. That was the goal.
yeah,
After everybody's looking at me like that's what I was trying to do. That's what like. And then
yeah.
he been on film saying that, and then him saying that he's pressing charges and like nah, they got to hold that up there too as like bro, you
It's a very
literally tried to
white person move of that guy for
you
sure. You know,
intentionally
saying
provoked him. You intentionally provoked him to react. And I
yeah,
don't believe that you called him by his full name, and that's why he punched you or attempted to grab you. I don't actually.
yeah,
It didn't really look like he attempted to punch him. It looked like he grabbed him and then went to like kind of like push him away, but his
yeah.
hand was still kind of because he grabbed him by his shirt and he kind of like
It
I don't
looked
know.
weird. I watched it a
Yeah,
few times because I was like, was his fist even closed? And then it was, and I'm like, if he wanted to punch him, like he would have just taken his shirt and yanked him down and been like, "What's good?" Like
right,
if he wanted
right.
to do
I think he
something,
was trying to shove him away, but his he still had his hand on his shirt, so
yeah.
it looked like he took a punch. But regardless, man, it's a crappy situation. Um, but I told you already, man. Weeks ago, I told you help was on the way. So my boy MVS, he dropped one. He dropped a
Yes.
tutty. I was very sad about it, but Thielen, Scotty Miller, I think we'll be okay without DK for these next couple of games. Ideally, we only need him for one to get through this Cleveland game.
Yeah.
Um, we only need to get through this Cleveland game, I should say, and then we can just get ready for the playoffs. Hosting a playoff game, it's looking most likely like if the playoffs were to start today, we'd be playing against the Chargers.
And I was
Um,
talking to someone this morning, and I said, out of all the teams and matchups, I feel like that's the one that I feel most comfortable for the Steelers. Obviously, Herbert
yeah,
can't win or has not won big games really. So, because I don't want to say can't, because then if he does, then it's going to get thrown in my face. So he hasn't really won big games. So Jacksonville, obviously, they years back they embarrassed us in the playoffs, and they're playing at a super super high level right now. Especially offensively, they're just clicking on all
yeah,
cylinders. You know, Broncos right now they have a bye. The Bills I don't want to play, for obvious reasons. So
yeah.
the Chargers are
It's
the
so
best
weird, man, because
possible matchup.
it's like the AFC is wide open, but there's still like you still don't want to play certain teams in the first round either. So like
Yeah,
if there's anybody, I guess we can take a swipe at, and in terms of feeling good about it, it would have to be that Chargers team right now.
yeah,
But they even looking pretty. They're looking like they're getting it together pretty well too. Justin Herbert, I know he broke his wrist or something like that, but
yeah,
you know he looked all right. I know they played Dallas, but he looked all right, man. You know McConkey and those guys, they look like they're all getting healthy at the right time. You know their defense is looking all right too. So that would be interesting if that were to be the matchup. If we were to clinch the playoff and get a home game, um, you know, but I can't say that we're already automatically in the playoffs. We got a good chance
no, no,
the
definitely
way things
not.
are lined up. But like that's how it be for the Steelers. Things be lined up looking great, and the next thing you know, the collapse. You know, so I'm hoping
Yeah,
that I'd love to be wrong. I know if like I
yeah,
said a couple weeks ago, it feels different. But I'm not comfortable yet till I see that asterisk next to the name that we clinched the playoff spot. You
yeah.
know,
Well, my buddy made a good point too. This when I was talking this morning is that he's like, if there was ever a year for for teams to be mediocre and be able to for the Steelers to be who they are, this is the year because it's wide open. There's
Yeah,
so much mediocre play going on as is. Like even the Broncos, they're a 1 seed this year, and yeah, they've had obviously flashes of looking great, but they're a soft 1 seed. From what
yeah,
we're used to seeing, obviously.
yeah.
So if there
They've
was
been
a
just
year where the
barely
Steelers
winning
could get a
plenty of games.
playoff win or two, or run off a couple wins, this is a year that the Steelers can do it if we can get there. So
Yeah,
obviously nothing's set in stone yet. Uh, Packers need to beat the Ravens, and then we can just rest easy.
that would be nice, man. That would be very nice. That's what I want from Santa Claus, man. The
Yeah.
Steelers to clinch the division this weekend. That'd be
I just
beautiful.
got a notification on my phone sticking it to the haters. It said Tomlin and Rogers are basically sticking it to the haters. That just came across it. So
Hey, man. So everything that they've been talking about is starting to look like it's coming that way, coming into fruition, man. In terms of that Mike and Aaron marriage, if you want to call it that. Um, Sounds like they're continuing to build trust with one another. They got each other's back. That's what you want to see. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Rogers
Um,
has looked so good the past couple of weeks. Like he's really on point. He had that. I don't know if you saw the video where he told Gainwell, he's like, "Go out, run a fly," and then he
yeah,
hits him. So I love the fact that at least this year we have a quarterback that can just audible hit players into certain routes that he sees because again we've talked about this previously, sad we haven't had quarterback like that, and
yeah,
that it makes all the difference that he's able to see what he sees and he's saying, you know what, you do this, you do that, let's get out of this,
yep,
other than that it was coaches calling play calls in our quarterback's ear, and that was that. We weren't audibling out of anything. Oh,
yeah,
and I gotta say, what the Steelers have done the past 2 games, they have gone into halftime and they've made adjustments because even last game, again, Lions were at -1 yard through almost the entire third quarter. So something's being done at halftime where the Steelers are defense is really locking in, and I freaking love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. And their offense is able to now move the ball down the field comfortably.
yep.
They're not getting three and outs. And no, it's a beautiful thing to see. And I just the defense has been incredible in the second half the past 2 games.
It helps. It helps when they get the rest, man. When they get the rest, and because the offense is sustaining the drives. Darnell had that fumble in the red zone, and then these guys followed it up and got a safety. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
those kind of things that the defense was like, we got you. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah, and
I
I
think
get
we
the
went down
fourth
and
quarter
scored.
was. I get the fourth quarter. They scored a lot of points, and that's what the Lions do. Though, did I not say that? If they're
Yeah.
from playing from behind in the fourth, they are going to put up points. If they are
Yep.
winning in the fourth, they're going to give up points. That's just how that team operates. So I wasn't surprised to see Lions keep it close, and I wasn't surprised to see the Steelers not close out the game because Lions don't normally let that happen.
Right.
So. But the second half, if you're looking from it from a complete standpoint, the Steelers were great.
For sure, for sure. I can never complain about a loss. Of course, it's all the. I mean, I never complain about a win. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
always complain about a loss.
these wins always come with a heart attack and a half. So
Yeah,
whatever, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Just long as we keep winning, that's it. But we may have, most likely, depending on how things go, we're looking at having two running backs that have 1,000 all-purpose yards
it's
this year.
crazy.
And that's huge.
Yeah,
I think Kenny G got like 600 yards receiving or something like that, or like
he's
maybe
earned
a four.
he's earned a long time contract, at least for a couple more years, without a doubt.
That dynamic duo, man. I didn't know what to expect going into it. I wasn't sure about Jalen Warren as a feature back, but these guys, they've stepped it up huge. And more
Yeah,
importantly, they make the first person miss most times, and Aaron can trust them to do that. Get the ball to him, let him make a move, go
yeah,
from there. And that opens up everything else for the offense. So as long as we can keep moving the ball and sustaining these drives, man, I think that we can be a scary team to play,
yeah.
especially with the way the defense has started to play better as well. So we'll see how it turns out, man. Hopefully Santa delivers on this division
Absolutely.
clinch, and
Yeah,
then we'll talk
absolutely.
about what the rest of the season's going to look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really this week would be nice to know that the Steelers are in the playoffs, and then next week it's not we're not sweating it. We're not especially playing the Ravens. It's just like let's just pack it in until the postseason. How about that?
Right.
Let's just get that done.
Exactly. All right, brother, man. So, have a Merry Christmas. Tell the wife I said Merry Christmas.
Absolutely, you too.
Um, and yeah, we'll
Enjoy
get back
Christmas
to it after
Eve.
the game.
Yeah,
We'll get back to it probably Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday sound about right.
Monday sounds good to me.
Recap the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
So you enjoy Christmas Eve with the family. Enjoy Christmas. Hopefully, we can get a little bit of snow for the kids to see as well. And I hope that your kids love all their presents. So and they get everything that they ask Santa for. That's
No, they
always a
asked for a lot. They
yeah.
circled the entire Amazon book. They asked for a lot. They asked for a lot.
Well,
Santa Claus can't bring all that. Well,
the,
we gonna see. Santa Claus did the best he could this year. Shit.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
But yeah.
enjoy, my friend, and we will. I'll text you obviously over these next few days, and then we'll chat again on Monday. All right.
All right, brother, man. Yes,
Stay
sir.
blessed.